All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Billy Wayne back again with Legacy United, a Righteous Project Inc. podcast. Here with our first virtual podcast interview with my boy here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself real quick.
Renard McDaniel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate it, man. And if you guys pick up on the theme, usually a lot of these episodes consist around a lot of people that I grew up with as well. And this is another homeboy from back in the day too. And what we do here, we invite people, local entrepreneurs, people that have success stories to share with you, and it could be earning their degree or going through certain hurdles throughout their lives to get to where they are today. You know, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass it back to my boy here to share a story, man. So go ahead, man. Let us know what's going on.
Like I just said, Renard McDaniel was the name. And I'm gonna break my story down based off the grades that I were in rather than the age because I don't remember.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Michigan, which is where I'm at right now. Was born in a city, Inkster, Michigan. Second grade, I was in Michigan from the time I was born up until the second grade, and then that's when I moved to Colorado.
Okay.
Second grade, I attended an elementary school by the name of Carson. Not exactly sure what side of town it was on.
Okay.
From there, I had moved to Park Hill, 3561 Glencoe.
Right down the street. Yep.
Fun fact, I Googled that last year. It's going for $400,000, and I don't know how.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Man. Yep. Crazy.
Yep. From there, I attended Stedman Elementary, which is where I had met Billy and several other people. It was just regular childhood during that time. From the third grade, I had moved back to Michigan. When I moved back to Michigan, I was living with my father, who was staying with his grandma. My parents were separated. Fourth grade was one of the very defining moments in my life. Because I was living in an unfavorable environment for a child. At my grandma's house, it was like one of three professions. You was either selling dope, own dope, or an alcoholic.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that year, while being an occupant of my grandma's house, my brother and I at the time, we endured it was 4 drive-bys. We went to dog fights in the middle of the night.
Oh man!
And there was a raid. My grandma's house was raided. They came looking for my father. They didn't find him. He ran into the basement and hid up under his dirty clothes, so they missed him.
Crazy.
We went to school, came home. He walked us to the corner store to let us know he was going away for a while.
Okay.
He left me and my brother $5. I say this was a defining moment in my life because it was at this time I realized what type of life I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
And that was a life according to the streets.
Right.
So it's like, this ain't what I want to do. Fifth grade, I moved back to Colorado, attended Stedman Elementary again.
Yeah.
Normal childhood. From there, moved to Hill Middle School for 6th and 7th grade.
Yep.
I was not the ideal student.
Same for you, man.
Because 7th grade, me, Jamie, Freddie, Jarvis, and it was somebody else. We all got put on a half a day of school. We were so.
Oh, what? For real?
we were so bad. Yeah, we were put on a half a day of school, 7th grade.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
We had to leave after lunch. From there, Hill Middle School, they stopped busing us out there, so I ended up having to go to Smiley.
Okay, you went to Smiley. Okay.
8th grade year. Yeah. Made it through the 8th grade year. From there, transitioned to East High School.
Okay.
I linked back up with you and several other people.
Yeah, we did.
East, my freshman year was another defining moment in my life.
Same here.
Yeah. It was the first time that I had always knew of drugs, more specifically marijuana, but it was my first time indulging in it. It took an effect on me. Yep. I was skipping school, not taking care of business, toward the end of my freshman year, I ended up getting caught up in a stolen car joyriding.
Oh
Had to
damn,
go through that
crazy.
whole process.
Yeah.
Going toward the end of my freshman year, I
Yeah.
had started going to like some after school football workouts.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But because of my situation with the joyriding thing, I got shipped back to Michigan.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
My grandma didn't want me staying with her because she
Yeah.
didn't want me to get caught up in that lifestyle. So my oldest brother ended up becoming my legal guardian.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
this was another defining moment in my life
Yep.
because I literally got dropped off at football practice the summer going into my sophomore year. Um, Come to find out, I was pretty good at it, but
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
my freshman year, I was ineligible.
Oh.
And speaking about my freshman year, like I still got my report card from my freshman year. I had
Yep.
a point 0.4 GPA, so it's
Yep.
like I can go get it right now. But
Yeah.
because of my grades, I was ineligible to play my sophomore year. But going
Gotcha.
into the spring, I got introduced into track and field.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, I did a shot put disc, and then I did something for fun, which was the big man's relay.
Gotcha. Okay. That's
Um,
what's up.
Going into my junior year, I was
Yeah.
eligible because I got my grades up. So junior, senior year, I played football. Sophomore, junior, senior year, I did track. My time playing football, I ended up getting one of the highest accolades here, which is Dream Team.
Yeah.
And so it's like all of the teams in the Detroit area were put together, and this was like, yo, this is the Dream Team. This is who we would have.
Damn. That's what's
And
up.
so
Okay.
only in 2 years of playing college ball, I got that.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
The things I achieved playing track, I broke a 30-year shot put record, and I broke a invitational record all in the same throw.
Damn. Okay.
Um, yeah. Um Senior year, I participated in the 4x1 like
Yeah.
competitively, and we won every one except for the last one. Um,
Damn. Crazy. Okay.
because I didn't start playing ball until my junior year, and like
Yeah.
colleges weren't aware of me. I did have two colleges come and check me out, Ferris State and GVSU, Grand Valley State University.
Yeah.
So my options were to go to a community college. But this was another defining moment in my life because I didn't have the know-how to get there. I remember this, it was a Friday.
Yep.
My uncle came and picked me up, told me pack all my stuff, drove me 2.5 hours away to a JUCO, which is a community college with sports, or a junior college.
Yeah. Yeah.
He brought me here to Grand Rapids, which is where I'm at now. He got my classes, my financial aid situated, paid first month, last month, and security deposit on my rent
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
on a Friday.
Yeah.
Practice started Monday.
Oh, damn.
So
Crazy.
yeah. So sophomore, freshman and senior year. I mean, I'm sorry, freshman and sophomore year. I did my 2 years at Grand Rapids Community College.
Yep.
I wanted to pursue culinary arts, but it was a 3-year program, and I was trying to do my 2 years and transfer. And then
Right.
I wanted to pursue computer animation, but that too was a 3-year program, and I was trying to do my 2 years and
Man.
transfer.
Yep.
Um, this was another defining moment in my life because I ended up flunking out my sophomore
Mm.
year, and I found myself back at home at my grandma's house.
Yeah.
And this was the first time I ever experienced letting someone down because I had seen my uncle,
Right.
and the look on the nonverbal on his face told me everything I needed to know. You messed up. Um, so from there, I ended up living in my boy crib, sleeping
Yep.
on this couch, sleeping on this
Mm.
floor. I ended up getting a job at Burger King. And it
Mm.
wasn't until I was at Burger King that I had a reality check.
Yeah.
Like as I was putting the burgers in the broiler,
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, you 6'4", 290, running a 4.740,
Yeah.
and you putting burgers in the broiler right now. I
Man.
had a
Right.
moment.
Right.
I had a
Yeah.
moment. I ended up going home. I had a friend that was in the registrar's office. I called her and we sat on the phone until she got me registered for summer school.
Hey, that's what's up.
So
Okay.
I had to go through the the spring summer school came around,
Yeah.
I took 24 credits, which is the equivalent of 1 year's worth of classes in 2 months, so that I could get myself caught back up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Um, because I was going to miss a year of football during this time, I ended up playing semi-pro.
Okay.
So I had played semi-pro for the local team, which was the Grand Rapids Thunder at the
Oh,
time.
that's what's up. Okay.
I only played 6 games because then it dawned on me that I'm not insured. If I get hurt, it's a wrap for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
So
Right.
I called it quits. But going into that winter, I had got a phone call from a coach by the name of Coach Boykin from
Okay.
Missouri State University, and he was like, "Hey, I got your information from at the time my coach for GRCC, Coach Kirk," and he was like, "Hey, I asked him if there was any players lingering around still looking to go somewhere, and he gave me your information." So I'm like, "Okay, bet." So Coach Boykin referred me to the offensive line coach, which I don't remember his name, and we started talking, and he was like, "Hey, we want to fly you out. We want to show you around." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Fortunately for me, the running back from the
Yeah.
JUCO I was at had transferred there, so he was able to speak on my behalf.
Oh, okay.
They
That's what's
flew
up.
me down. They offered me a letter of intent. Before I signed it, I called my uncle to inform him, like, "Hey, I told him my story. Like, yo, I'm about to receive a full ride scholarship for
Yeah.
football."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, I got back in his good graces."
That's what's up,
And it
man.
was just
Yeah.
like that was one of my moments right there. That was
That's
another
what's up.
defining moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in order to make that happen, I had to acquire my associate's degree, which I did, which is in
Okay.
criminal justice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Um, Transferred to Missouri State, did my 2 years there. While I was there, my senior year, I led our conference for defensive tackles and sacks.
Yep.
Um, Spoke to some NFL teams while I was there. Um, Ultimately, I graduated, got my bachelor's in criminology.
Nice, man.
Um, I ended up getting a call. I had got two calls. I got a call from the New York Giants, and it was like, "Hey, if we don't draft you, we'll bring you into rookie camp." I said, "Okay, cool."
Mm-hmm.
Literally after the draft ended, they called me and was like, "Hey, we want to bring you to rookie camp." I said,
Oh,
"Okay,
okay.
cool."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went to rookie camp with the Giants. I think it was 2006,
Okay.
2007,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was there for 3 days.
Yeah.
And the thing about me is, like, I played football because
Yep.
I was good at it, not because I loved it,
Right.
because I knew it served a purpose.
Right.
It got me
Mm-hmm.
through school. It paid for school.
Yep.
And I can honestly say, if I had a passion for the game, or if I started earlier, I probably would
Mm-hmm.
have went further.
Gotcha.
Um, Real quick to backtrack to my JUCO time.
Yeah.
My sophomore year, I was getting recruited from nothing but D1 schools, with Ohio State
Oh,
being the
that's
biggest recruiter.
yeah. That's what's up.
So, and again, I messed that up. The things with the Giants didn't work out. Finished school.
Yeah.
I had told myself that I was going to walk the next semester so that my family can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I made the decision on the Thursday. I'm walking on Friday. I'm not coming back here.
Oh,
You know
that's
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I had made that
Yeah.
decision. I walked. I didn't have nobody
Okay.
there. I was okay with
Yeah.
that. I wanted to be done with it.
Cool.
From there, I ended up moving to Rockford, Illinois, and
Oh,
I
okay.
ended up playing for the Rockford, Illinois Raptors. So I played a year of arena ball.
Gotcha. Man,
Um,
that's what's up.
I ended up moving back to Grand Rapids because the Arena One team here, which
Yeah.
was the Rampage, I went to the second tryout for them. The second tryout was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That Monday they folded, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with
Oh,
football."
okay.
And that's when I entered the workforce.
Yeah. Yeah.
So between then and now, I had a couple jobs, couple positions, here and there.
Yep.
I ended up meeting my wife. Um, we ended up having kids first. Then we
Mm-hmm.
got married.
Mm-hmm.
Um, had my son,
Yep.
and currently we are both trying to pursue some entrepreneurship.
What's up?
So
That's what's up.
that's where we at right now. That's everything in the nutshell right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, that's That's what's up, man. It's definitely quite a story as well because a lot of it in there, just like you're saying, man, from the earlier years as well, man. I didn't realize that you were gone in fourth grade.
Yeah,
For some reason, man, it was a while back, what, 25 years ago, maybe more.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So third grade, and you were out. Fourth grade, you came back to Colorado in the fifth grade, and we did, man. East High School was probably not the best school at that time because, man, it was, what was it? They didn't care. We'll be out in the back behind the
And
lunchroom
ooh,
chilling, and they
in the
wouldn't care.
dugout, did
Oh, in the
not care.
dugout? Oh man, the
Yeah,
dugout too,
did
man. As
not
long as
care.
we did not step off of school grounds, they didn't trip on us, man. So
I
I
know.
mean, I
And
remember being
I
in class
never,
alone.
thought about that. I never thought about how they just did not
Yep,
care. And I
yep,
think one of the problems for me when I went there was the freedom I ended up getting.
yep. Exactly.
Like
Right,
like
right.
it was almost like a culture shock to be like, yo, I get to leave campus for lunch.
Yeah,
Wait, I
yeah.
can just go
Right,
out these
right.
doors anytime.
Yep,
And it was too
yep.
much freedom. I
It
didn't know
was.
what to do with that type of power. It was too
Yep,
much.
yep. Exactly, man.
So,
And I went to South, man. My
hmm,
second semester, so I didn't finish out my ninth grade in the East at all, man. And
yeah,
I would say that it was a good decision. I didn't graduate high school with a good GPA anyway, but I don't know where I'll be if I stayed at East though, man. I'm not
hmm,
saying that the friends were bad influences. It's just that
hmm,
there was no restrictions at all out there.
yeah,
There's just
yeah.
too much going on outside of that
I think
vicinity.
one of the things that another thing that played a major part in my turnaround was I ended up when I moved back to Michigan, I ended up going
Yeah.
to a school where I was completely out my element,
Okay.
and I didn't have no choice but to pay attention. And
Right.
then I got involved in sports, and I had realized how I had something because your grades and sports go hand in hand. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? There's no sports without the grades, and for me, there was no
Exactly.
school without sports. So it's like
Right.
I need to be eligible,
Yep.
and so me wanting to play ball kept me eligible because I knew that the longer I played football, the longer I could avoid the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
Right.
really avoid the real world. So
Yep.
it was a good thing for me to get involved in sports at the time.
Yeah. Straight
So
up, man. And I think that's kind of what is lacking in a lot of the youth these days as well, man, is having that type of a long term goal,
hmm
because just like you were saying when you were younger, man, you don't there was really no real reason in your mind to have those good grades until you establish something that you
hmm
wanted to pursue.
they had to. Yep.
Okay, if I
Yep.
got to get this, then I got to do this. And there's a lot of youth out there that don't have that
Right.
direction at this time, man. So
And I feel like no one set any type of because our parents, I feel like, are responsible for setting those goals for us at first. No one
yeah,
really set anything for me. Um, and then I think another reason why I think kids have problems is there's no one in their life that they're afraid to disappoint. And so, like I
mm,
said, the first time when I seen my uncle's face, I saw the
yeah,
disappointment, and I felt
right.
disappointed because someone had set expectations for me.
Yeah, yeah, right.
And I think that played a big part, and I think that's what a lot of kids are lacking. No one, there's no one in their life they're afraid to disappoint.
Straight up, man. And yeah, man. I mean, even the background you shared as a kid. I mean, some people might use that as a crutch for the rest of their life.
Hmm
And kind of use that as their excuse, man. And others, man, just you eventually get to that point to where they know that you got to get out there and get things done.
hmm
So I think your story explains a lot of that as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and yeah, man. So we lost contact for years, right, man?
yeah,
Probably,
yeah.
man, close to 20 years, probably. I would say.
Man, I always feel like I had remembered your phone number though.
Yeah.
I always thought I remembered it, man.
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
to say it
yeah.
was like 329 or 863 or
That's
something
it.
like that.
That's funny,
That's
man.
it. I
Yeah, that's
told you
it.
that.
Hey, because we had that same number for so long, and they changed it a
Yeah.
few years back, and it
Okay.
was wild because that was the phone number, man,
Yeah,
back in the
because
day. And
I remember I remember
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was at Missouri State
Yep.
and I was walking from class and I'm like, oh, I wonder if this number still work.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it just kept ringing. So this was some years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
So
Okay.
it still had to have been active.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
Probably,
man,
man.
they probably just didn't recognize. I can't remember what Missouri's area
That.
code was. I probably
Okay.
was a bill collector as far as they was concerned. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, man, I always
Yep.
remember this.
Yep.
Like,
That's crazy, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. And I was a Mosley, man, talking to Mosley the other day as well.
hmm
About the podcast and everything. Told him you'd be on too, man. So but yeah, man, a lot of stories, a lot of people that we knew back in the day. And I was telling, I think it was on another podcast. I was saying when we were younger, man, and growing up, the people that were the influencers were drug dealers and gang members,
yep,
as we
yep,
were
yep,
growing
yep,
up,
yep,
man.
yep,
And
yep.
that's what we saw in the neighborhood, Now,
hmm
I had my pops, I had my moms, they were both 9 to 5 working all the time as well. My pops would always, try to keep me on the straight and narrow. But then, man, out in the hood, you got everybody else out there, man.
Yep,
So
yep.
and it was the majority. So I mean, even at this time, as all these episodes, kind of come together, you notice that there's a trend, man, that a lot of our generation, man, are making that change, man, to kind of pursue
hmm
those different roles, man,
Yep,
for other kids to look up to as
yep,
well,
yep.
which is wild, man, which is wild for
Right.
me to see.
I, and I feel like to actually change stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to get married and I always wanted kids because I had come to the conclusion a long time ago that I always wondered what life would have been like for me if I had both parents. And
Okay.
because we don't get to start over, so having kids is
Right.
the closest thing to starting over.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so it's like I didn't grow up with my own bedroom. I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with
Yeah.
my own TV, my own anything. My
Right.
kids have their own room, their
Hmm.
own. They came into this world with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So it's
Yep.
like my kids, they don't know nothing else.
Yep. Yep.
Like their friends have both parents in their life. Their friends
Right.
have their own bedroom. So
Right.
I threaten my kids to send them back to Inkster sometime. Like you
Yeah.
don't want that lifestyle. Like y'all
Right.
got it good,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. And so
Exactly.
and it's this is me starting over. This is as close to starting over as I get, is to see to it that they're further ahead at an
Right.
earlier age than
Right.
me. So
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the key right there. Just like you said, man, is that try to make sure that they are further ahead than you were at a certain age,
yeah,
which
yep,
is important, man, because there's no other way to get or the next generation a head start, man, than to help boost them and understand
hmm
even education, all that stuff. They have their own room, their own TV. Same with my kids as well,
oh man,
and they understand, man. They have to work to get it because if they don't,
yeah,
they mess up. Then
yeah.
they can't have that luxury,
Yeah.
So
Oh
there's
man,
that
the hinges
balance.
is coming off the doors next week if these
Yeah,
rooms not
yeah,
clean.
right. Yep,
They
yep,
don't get it,
exactly.
man. They don't get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So,
man. But no, that's the truth, man. Straight up. And I appreciate that. Now, I do have a question for you that I ask
hmm
everybody, as always. If there was one thing that you can tell yourself at a young age that would have switched your mindset at that time, right? Because we're all hard headed when kids. But if there's one thing that you could have told yourself at a young age that could have switched your mindset, what would that be?
to be more studious, to be consistent, and to take
Right.
my art more serious.
Oh man, yeah,
That'd be
yeah. I got you,
that'd be
man. Yep.
because I watched episodes. I had answers already. So
So he was like, already, yep, yep.
yeah, I already knew. I already know. Even before
Hmm.
I knew that you would ask me those questions years
Yep.
ago. I already knew what would have made a difference
Right.
because as a person, as someone with kids now, I already see the difference with their lifestyle in comparisons to mine, and it's the fact
Yeah.
that they have both parents in the house and the way that our life is set up. We are
Hmm.
always readily available. The
Right.
kids are at school.
Yep.
I'm at home, the wife at work, and vice versa. They've
Yeah.
never ever been without us to come get
Same.
them whenever they needed it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I feel you, man, on that. Yeah, really stuck out is being more studious, man. Same here because I didn't have a low GPA for the lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? I knew what I needed to do. I knew the
listen,
answers. I chose not to do it, man.
listen. Hear me when I say this. I would do just enough to get by, and then my
Yeah.
coaches would be like, "Hey." If you don't pull your grades up, you're going to be ineligible.
Right.
Oh, okay. Why you ain't say that?
Yeah, yeah,
3.8,
yeah, yeah. There,
3.8,
exactly. Right.
senior year of college,
Yep. Yep.
3.8. I
There
made
you go.
sure that I pulled off damn near a 4.0 my senior year
There
because
you
I
go.
wanted to make sure that
Yep.
I didn't have to come back.
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I remember when I walked. Me and a couple of other people, we were all in the cafeteria after the ceremony,
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "Yo, what you got to come back for?" And he was like, "Oh, I got to come back for this." He's like, "What you got to come back for?" "Oh, I got to come back for this." They're like, "Renard, what you got to come back for?" I say nothing. My diploma was in mine.
There you
I'm
go.
done. And
That's
I'm
it.
talking about the look on their face was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"Yeah, yeah, I'm not coming back, Doug."
Yep.
I didn't want to walk and know that I still had to come back.
Right. Right.
So
I feel you, man. I feel you. That's funny. Yeah, because that's where all that came from, man. I graduated high school with like a 1.7.
yeah.
But college is like you're saying, man. Mine was 3.5 after college, and that was recent. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think you kind of struck a chord with that one about telling the younger self about that
hmm
as well, man. Because we knew
It's
better,
it's
man.
it's
So
it's right. It's crazy because it's like the test is going to be on chapter one. Chapter one is 15 pages. The answers are between pages one and
exactly.
15. All you got to do is look for them.
Look, yep, in chronological order too. Not
Yeah,
no. Question number one. All right, man. It's right
yeah,
there. That's
yeah.
it.
And
That's it,
it's
man.
like
It's
it's
wild.
crazy,
Yep,
man. It's
yep.
crazy.
Straight up, man.
So,
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that answer, man. Definitely correct on that one.
hmm
But yeah. So, any final words for the audience, man? You wanted to share?
yeah. For anyone who's trying to do something, my advice to you would be to surround yourself around people who are doing the same thing.
Yep.
And I'm not just talking about like social media wise, you start a little Facebook group. I'm talking about
Hmm.
physically present with these people. I just got involved in an art group with a few cats. Shout out to Marcus D and E. We started meeting up every week, every Sunday, late last
Man,
year. And between late last year and actually, today before I got with you, I was hanging out with them. There's been a significant improvement
that's
in
what's
my
up.
workflow,
Yeah.
my quality, how fast I can get things done because I'm being held accountable by this group. I have people in this group who I admire, who I know is better than me at certain things, and they can give me feedback. Not just feedback, but they can show me how to correct it. So
Nice.
my advice would be to get with like-minded people
Yep.
where y'all can occupy the same space. And it may not be exactly the same thing, but at the end of the day, it'll give y'all the same results.
Right.
Um, and then and then one more thing I would say
Yeah.
is to remove people from your life who has nothing to do with what you're trying to do.
Right.
Even if they're family. Just because somebody is family, mother, father, brother, sister, does not mean you have to entertain their behavior.
Right. Exactly.
Um, I tell my kids all the time, if I have to choose between you because you messing up and these two who's taking care of business, I'm gonna choose the two that's taking care of business.
Right. Right.
Like I'm not gonna entertain it. That's my advice. Get with like-minded people and cut off those who have nothing to do with what you're trying to do.
Yep. Yep.
So,
That's reality, man. I mean, that's how it is when you're out there. So
hmm
I appreciate that, man. A lot of that's very important, just like you said, surrounding yourself, man, and not just virtually, but physically, because
yeah,
there's a different energy when you're around each other
there's
in
a different.
person
Yeah,
than you are in a virtual
yeah,
space.
yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
it's 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 different.
Yep, yep. So no, I agree with that as well, man. So I appreciate that too.
Hmm
Well, cool, man. That's going to wrap it up for today, and I appreciate everybody listening as always. You can always catch the episodes on YouTube, subscribe, or you can watch us or listen to us on your favorite podcast streaming services. Once again, this is your boy Billy Wayne with Legacy United, and my boy Renard as well. Signing out for the day.
All right,
Have a
y'all.
good
Have a
one.
good day.